Hey everybody, welcome to Frederick's Workshop. Today's project, or the project I just finished, so what you'll see now when you watch, is this. Right here. Record player stand. So we've got one slab of red oak I picked up, 2 1/4 inches thick. It was long, and I made the legs and everything out of that one piece. So records all sit here. This would be the one that would be rocking out to. I'm sure everybody knows what this one is. And it's for my wife's Christmas present here. So records can play, and she can stick them on there, and this will all sit. Ignore the mess on the pool table. Move the TV dinner trays. Move my base case, because there's an outlet right there, and that's where to live. All this needs to be rearranged out here, but there she is. Check this out, guys. It took me a couple weeks to make, and I had no idea what I was doing when I did this thing, but there she is. Check this out, guys. It's pretty badass. And roll my intro. Now that you've seen what I'm trying to make, let's figure out how I get to it, because right now I ain't got no clue. That stuff before the intro, of course that was done before now, because that's some Osage for a truck, little toy truck. But it's going to be that slab right there. This is the other half of it. Nice chunk of red oak. So let's move these 3 to the shop. And here's the good part. Be back. There it is. So, Osage hedge, not using. That's for a different project. This was one slab. He straight cut for me, because this is the part that's going to be for the record stand. I just got to figure out where's going to be a good spot to start building, in which direction. And then that's the, like I said, the other half of this piece that I might just leave as is for now, figure out what I'm going to do with it, or I'll have to use part of that to make the legs for this, but not there yet. Let's get this up on the miter station and see what we got going. So let me rearrange this garbage to get this going. So I need it to be in the 12-inch area, which is mainly for the record player side of things. So all the way down to here, you get way too big. So I need 14 inches for the record player of 12 inches. So that goes to 12 here, right at the edge of the miter. And then right at the edge of the miter, 14's down here. So just past about an inch past this, so right around here, and I can cut off that. So that's what I'll do, is I'll do for a 14 from here this way, and then I got to go the rest of the 16 this direction to get my total of 30. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 14 here, and then mark my 30 here, and see how that looks. I'm not going to cut anything yet until I get my marks on there. So let me do that. So total table top length. This is my I did this in Word, and did these two in paintbrush. So I got an idea of what I want. The only reason I really did it on this method was just because I needed to do the math to figure out how much length I needed to do everything in one slab. But anyway, so it's 30 inches total. So we're going to come over 14. It's going to drop down, go over 14, and come back up. So 14 and 14 is 28. But this 14 is going to go, when it comes over 14, it's going to be tucked underneath. So it's a flat edge right there at 14. And then it's going to come over and come up. So that extra 2 inches for the thickness of this guy is that 2 inches down here where it comes back up. So it leaves this space here for the records to sit at 14. I hope. So what I need to do is, there's my 14 line, or not 14 line, that's my edge line here, or like you can see up here, it's this line here, and then this line is this line. So I'm going to cut this guy first, and then watch my paper blow away, and then we'll deal with all of this stuff in a little bit, I think. Or do I clean that edge up first? I think I'm going to clean this edges up first, just to see how it looks, and see if I can go from that section there, and see how bad this is, because that feels a little damaged there. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just get, I'm going to go get this little wheel thing I got to see if I can clean this up with. Let's go do that. So here's what I got. It's this guy right here. There we go. It's blue. Wear eye protection. I'm going to pretend like my glasses are good enough for that. Nylonox, N-Y-A-L-O-X, Nylox or some crap. I don't know. It's supposed to be the equivalent of, this one is, the blue one I think is the 120. The orange one, which I also have, is the equivalent of 80. Don't know. So, wear eye protection. Sure. It's doing okay. I'm just going to spin around and do this for a while. Make a ton of mess. All of my new shoes. And we'll be back once I get at least some more down this way done. There's the edge a little bit cleaned up. It's still got some nastiness to it there, here and there, but it's a live edge. So I'll take a sandpaper to it. Sandpaper. Take regular sandpaper on my orbital to eventually. But for now, that's where we're at. Should have been wearing a mask during the sanding. It is dusty as hell in here. Dumbass. I had it on while I was cutting it, or while I was doing the wire wheel thing. But anyways, yeah, got it cleaned up with the 120. It's pretty nice. There's a few little pieces here and there, but I think if I do an epoxy pour on it, as far as the coating goes, it'll be fine. Fairly smooth. It's still got some of the, you can kind of see those a little bit, the sawmill marks, but I got to pour some epoxy in that. These little cracks here, I don't know how much of this side I'm keeping though. I do need to figure that out. But, there she is so far. Next step is to really figure out how big it's going to be. And then I'll cut it before I epoxy it. So I need to really measure and then make this cut here somewhere. I want to see if I want to keep it at 30 like the original plan, or make the top a little bit bigger for the record to sit down on better. And it's 2 1/4 inches thick, so I need to make it a little bit thicker to get this piece to line up here, because I'm using this as the down pieces. Okay, here's the here's the bottom side. So it doesn't look too bad. Some of the cracks is here. It comes all the way through. I'm gonna fill those with epoxy. So I'm gonna put some blue tape over this guy, over these, and up the side, and anywhere else I see that needs some epoxy, and then I will pour the epoxy on this side, which really isn't bad. I'm feeling it. I don't feel a lot of voids, except for this guy here, and then this. Well, there's a couple little cracks here, so I'll just go ahead and just pour a little bit inside those, just to make sure they hold. But it's mainly just, well, you can see it only goes about here, but then you got a couple extras. So there she is. It's got a little spalting in it. It's kind of cool. I think you were able to see it on this side here. But let's get this in the house, because it's only 30 or 27 degrees out here. Let's get this in the house and get this thing started warming up a little bit. Alright, it's been 24 hours. Yeah, that's dry enough. As far as, you don't touch it. Now that needs filled a lot more. So what I may do is, some of these are needing a lot more in it. What I'm going to have to do is tape off this side and go from the other side now. Well, actually look, see if I down, went all the way down and seal that bottom side. That would be best. But let's say there's some epoxy in these things here. Should be good enough to hold it. Alright. Put some more in this one here. And I'm going to go out there and work on other parts of this. Okay, so this is out there, or in there in the bathroom, drying up with the epoxy. So now I'm going to cut these 2 8s, because I know that they're going to be 8. And the live edge will be on the same side as this one, so looking down will be the live edge. Live edge on the front, and then the, so this will be, shelf will be like that, basically. So this will be one side of the shelf, there'll be the other side of the shelf will go in there. So these will be facing this direction when they're attached to what's in the bathroom in there. So, I believe, yeah, that's the good edge down there. Good edge compared to this cut edge here. So I'm going to go up 8, cut, and that'll be the 2 for the down pieces. So let's get that set up and cut. Just getting ready to make this cut. Went over to turn my dust collector on and realized I took the bucket in for the last project thing that I just showed you, as fire starters, using a sawdust. And all those the cut that I made here and the one off the other end, straight to the other end, it was on the other side. I turned it on and don't even have the bucket. Dumbass! Let's get this installed and start all over again. Okay, there's the 2 for the side braces. I was thinking about cutting the middle. Sorry about the spinning around. Oh, here it is. Cutting the back piece, back behind here, which I know is going to be 14 roughly, but I don't want to cut that yet until I cut out the part in here, so I can get this piece to use to measure that back piece, because it's going to be the same size. So for now that's done, but that piece will come out of here. So I may need to go ahead and sand this piece up, see if I see any major cracks. Alright, second pour, and that still needs a ton more. And this crack here needs a ton more, and you can still see that there's a big crack right there. It's not even filled. I have to pull the tape down. Let's see what we got down here. Nothing down here as far as drippage goes. No. So let's take a look here. That's 10 mLs down in there. It was not even near enough to do anything. So I broke 10 or more. Epoxy's dry. Now there's a few here that are still not like that. It needs to be probably topped off a little more. But I think it'll be okay. Maybe I'll just fill it with shellac. I don't know. Either way, who cares? It's good enough. So we got the epoxy poured on both sides. There's this side. It only has that little bit on the bottom. It's got that parts there. So, and this is the bad side, quote unquote bad side. I haven't sanded this side yet at all. So let's spend the next 100 hours sanding these sides down. I think I'll start the bottom side just because it's worse. Got it sanded to 80 on both sides of all. I still got to do like the edges of the main board, but just want to move on a little bit. So this is going to be mounted underneath, and then that will be mounted underneath here somewhere, but the thickness is there. So I'm just going to mark the line here. And then here, and now I've got I'm going to set these down here. And now I've got a cut line here, stop there, and I got to go 14 this way, 14, and then lay it down to come back. Okay, so if I cut carefully, circular saw these, and then do a nice plunge to get that, the rest of it, to get that line, and then I can use my scroll saw, or my jigsaw, to finish them out. Alright, here we go. I wish I knew which side of the blade that was on. It's like the 0. Get the hand off the fucking trigger. They want to near that blade, you idiot. The 0 is on. Okay. Come on out. It's not the best, but it'll work. This side, I got bench cookies underneath there, so I don't have to worry about.
Or offer the aisle to ensure a faster getaway.
I don't have to worry about it cutting my table.
Hotel that's famous for.
Nice. Horrible. Now here comes the plunge. Alright. Should work a hearing protection. I can't hear. Now it's time to get my jigsaw in there. Yeah. I don't know how far to go. Oh, that's why that blade's not long enough. So I finished most of it off with the handsaw. And went back with the jigsaw, get the last itty bitty corner. Now, I got to clean these edges. Because that's bad right there. So I got to sand these edges down quite nicely. And the back here. Holy crap, that's bad. And then these edges. These aren't, well, I guess it's bad there. So I'm going to sand these down. Okay, so this piece is going to get mounted in here somehow. So I need to get this back piece cut, which would be the same size as this as far as that side to this side goes. So that is coming out of this. So I'm going to use this end versus that end. So I'm just going to lay this flat on here, measure it on this side, draw a line, and cut that out. So it's only 49 degrees out, which isn't too bad, but it's a little too cold out here for tight bond 2. They want like 55. So I'm going to take this off inside, leave this guy here because I don't need it yet. I'm just going to take these inside and glue these 4, sorry, glue it to where it looks like this. So I need these, right, these 2 clamps, these 2 clamps. I think those are too small, the blue ones. And then I need my glue mat, my glue brush. Glue's in the house already because, like I said, it's cold. And then slap some glue on the joints. Glue, 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 glue. Squish. Well, there's the glue up. So I've got not enough clamps. I've got one holding here at the top, pinching this. These 2 punching here, go this way, and this one holding this one down. But it should be alright. So give that a couple hours to glue dry, and we will return. There it is after glue up. I did notice that I was an idiot. Let's flip this on its side here a little bit. There. When I put some tape on the clamps to keep it from sticking, I clamped it, or put it inside the 2 pieces there, so the wood goes inside. But you can see I need to get a much better saw. My table saw I hate. Miter saw apparently is not set up good. I got huge gaps. This here is cut like this. You see that? It's touching here. It's kind of touching here. There's a huge gap here. This is cut an angle like this from either my miter or my table. I think it's from my table saw. So it's not 90 degree. Huge gap there. Not a gap here. So I'm just going to fill it with epoxy and then fill all the gaps. So let me show you what I'm talking about here in a second and rotate it. Well, I'm going to put some tape on these edges. Blue tape. Real good job of blue taping it. But I don't want it to leak out and make a mess. So I'll just pour it down nice and slowly down these gaps here. See, I can't really down in that gap there, all the way around. And if it holds epoxy, or holds river tables, it'll hold these pieces together. Alright, I got the glue dry on this shelf part of it. Ran some epoxy into the gaps that were not good because of my horrible skills. And then I glued this to here. And it's pretty good. It got a little chilly out here. It's like 30 some degrees outside right now. But I left the heater on. This awesome heater here. Which does absolutely much of nothing. But I left that on for a while. While we were eating dinner. Once dinner was done, then I came out and turned it off for the night. But at that point it was like 40 something degrees out. 50-ish. But the glue seems to be holding okay. Got some bad gapping here. I'm going to figure out how to seal, and then I pour some epoxy in here to hold it that route too. Do this just like I did here. But this is all on the very, very bottom, so I don't really care what it looks like. So next is let that sit for a while, and not you, but the big one. Get that down and figure out how I'm going to clean this off and turn some legs. Alright, this piece is for the short legs. The two short pieces are for the two long legs. So now I need to cut it basically the same that it's, however thick this is, which I think is 2 1/4. Cut it 2 1/4 and then 2 1/4 on each of these so I can get them in the lathe. Set you up for 2 1/4. Alright, well, not these 14, well, I have to have one to be 14, I think it's 16 right now. Do not fit between center, or do not work in my chuck. This is just too short. So, I got them on the centers here. I'm just going to turn the tenon on this so I can get it into the chuck and get it going. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just turn the tenon on this, and then all of these as well. So I'm pretty happy with this one here. So just this will be the top, this will be the foot. So it slightly narrows, then boop, pops back up, and it gets us a little bit of a taper right here. Just need to sand the shit out of it. But this will be so this will get mounted on this end, and then I've got these little feet that'll get put into this end here, and then the rubber feet's go on the bottom of that for leveling, just in case I don't make these exactly right. So I got all this to go. So I'm gonna sand the crap out of this one and get working on those. Here's where we're at so far. I got some hot glue here because I filled that full of epoxy, so I gotta get that hot glue out of there now. If it comes out easy or not, I don't know. I'll deal with that later because I'm not too worried about it right now. And we've got one leg turn, which doesn't look too bad. Got the second one lined up to match the first one. We'll work on these after that, but so there's the first one. So like, this is going to get engraved into there, inset into there. So I'll get these lined up later and put in, but who cares? I just want to finish at least turning this one here. I'll turn this next one. So it's time to get started again. So it's a bit of an idiot, so you can see the grain goes nice here. So these two will connect this way with that guy in the middle. But this one, I actually have the tenon on this side and the tenon on this side, so it's going to meet in the middle here. So I got to think about how to, because I was going to just turn these around, make it easier. So this goes this way. So that's the way it'll go on the lathe. So this one mounts to that one this way. So I can make that the foot, and then this will be the top. So I'm going to design it basically the same as this. So I'm going to go 2 inches, half inch, half inch, half inch for 2 beads. Then I'm going to skip these, and we're just going to put 1 bead here, 1 bead here, and then the 2 bead 2-inch. So it looks similar, except where these two meet will be a split right there. So let's get to cutting, turning. There's the four legs. So let's start with these two. There's these two. Now, of course, I got to mount them and all that good jazz, but there's those two. And then there's these. Now, the fun thing with this is it's two pieces. So, same thing, of course, that one. They line up pretty good. So I'll get that threaded, double-ended threader there, dowel screw in the center of those. So I'm just going to drill holes in the center of each of those, get those two attached to each other, and I think that's the next step. So there we go. Drill the holes in them guys, and then screw those together. Alright, I'll be back once that's done. So, turning just those four, which were 2 1/4, or those technically 6, 4 legs, 6 pieces, all this mess. I gotta clean all this up here. And then out of here, all the way down there, all over the floor. Yep, that's gonna take a week to clean. All over this. And this stuff is everywhere. Alright. So I got my level, flush. Oops. Flush on that side. And then I'm just going to place these right here for now. Kind of take a guess. That's not terrible. I might come in just a tad. What about there? So I'm going to draw a line around that. And then I've got this crappy Chicago Electric palm router set to the depth of from here, or from the base to here. So this will be flush with the surface up here, so with the bottom of the table. So whenever I screw these onto it, it should screw all the way down and then go flush to here. Okay, got them engraved, or not engraved, grooves cut out, whatever. And then, I don't know, they're inlaid. So it should be pretty flush with the top of the circle here on all 4 of these. Let's see how it looks with this. Let's see if I can get that in there. There might be a small gap in there. Yeah, just a small gap in there, which is fine, because that just means when I screw the leg down on top of it, it will stay flush with this. Let's try this one here. Is the base, so it'll sit like that. Now, unfortunately, it's you'll see that gap there, but that's all right. So I'm gonna wait for my center marking tool. It's supposed to be here today, so I can mark the center of here, these 4, so I can screw them together to make one long leg, and then mark the centers also of the let's grab the base here. Let's just grab this guy here. Mark the center of that so I can put in the adjustable feet, and then mark the center of this so I can find the center to put that on there. Alright, so now I got my center finder finally. So I can mark centers of this get real close for this. And then mark center though. This guy. There for now. This guy. It's so cold out. With the 3/16. That's not brad point. None of those are brads. To go with a 5/16 or 5/64. Damn, it's cold. Alright, 5/64. Gonna try my best to hit that center. Both these rhinos. Actually, I got an idea. Got like a little center punch. Might help. I don't have on hand, but I do have a round tip file and a hammer. Make one center punch for right now. Starter. Now I'll go back to this guy. Use that little divot. Get that going. And I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other one too. So I'm going to reset everything. Freezing my butt off. Okay, so this has a slight bit of a tip to it there, so hopefully I can get that. Go down in that little pilot I just got. And then I only need to go in so far. I'm going to put a nice little blue tape stop on the depth. Now let's, whoa, wobbly, wobbly. Fits nice. Alright, now you. that guy goes together. Have to go a bit bigger so the 1/4 inch looks. Quarter inch take way too much out. So let's get this guy here so I don't grab it. Right there by the non-thread part in the middle. Get it going. Nice. There's one. It's got a small, it doesn't matter, small gap in there. But there's not much I can do with that. I can't get that any tighter yet, so I'm gonna have to. And I was hoping the grain would line up better, but that's bad on my part. I'm not sure how to do that. Might use like a strap style clamp to help tighten it down a little bit more. But there's one leg. So next thing I'm gonna do is hit the other two together the same way, and then center and drill out the mounts and the feet. So we'll be back after all that. Legs are attached. They're on there. So I got these in, these attached in the middle. So I'm just gonna sweep the floor first. Actually, I'm gonna clean up. Well, why? I gotta clean all this stuff off. So I'm just gonna pick this guy up, move it over here. That guy does pretty good. And clean so I can start finishing. And I got 4 coats of shellac so far. Let's turn down the Rammstein. Alright, 4 coats of shellac on here so far. That is looking good. I love this leg here like that. I wish it was on the outside. Turn it a little bit more. But look at that, that's not bad. All from one slab. I just wish I was a better builder, but it'll do its job. So I'm gonna let this one dry. That's coat 4. Yeah, coat 4. It doesn't take long to dry. So I'm just gonna let that dry. Do the old flipperoo. Flipperoo. Put it on its feet so I can get the bottom and stuff. And then I will probably do a spray lacquer, but when I do that, I'll just do it standing. Just a spray lacquer. Rattle can. And maybe do 1-2 layers, coats of that. I don't like that leg. Look how nice and tapered that one is versus that one. Those 3 are nice. That one's not as tapered. Dang it. Should have put that leg up front. Moron. Oh well. I guess I could. When they do come off, switch them around. I may do that later before I present the present. But like I said, let this last coat of shellac dry just now. Should be done here in a couple minutes. Flip, do the other side, and we'll give you another shot from its after the lacquer. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits on this and say done. Well, there should be. It's got I don't remember, 4 coats of shellac. 3 coats on top of lacquer, and just 2 everywhere else. And there it is. So the record player shall sit here. The records will sit here. The little bar to keep them in, as you'll see, as you've seen at the beginning. But there should be 1 slab of wood. That piece. This little tile here is all that's left. So I still got stuff to play around and do something else with. Sweet. But there she is. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun. A lot of thinking. There's a lot of improvements I got to learn to do, and how to make these projects a whole lot better. But it'll serve its purpose. It'll do what it's doing, and I got it done before Christmas. So I believe she's gonna like it. So there we go. And oh shit, we'll show you. Well, you've seen it at the beginning. I don't need to tell you what we're going to show you, because you've seen it at the beginning, which I haven't filmed yet. But you've seen it at the beginning, which has not even happened yet. I don't know. But there she is. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, help tell me what I did wrong, what I could do better. Just help me out, fellas and fellas. Thanks, guys. See ya.